What's going on, guys? It's Mark from Lone Wolf Paintball. 2020 is here, and we're going to take a look back at the most top Lone Wolf Paintball video of all time. It's at almost 2 million views. It's like 1.75. It'll probably hit 2 million in the next couple months, but it's how to fill a pod. We didn't think it would do that well. Surprised it did. You guys apparently liked it. The comments sometimes are questionable, but if you haven't seen the original, here, check out this replay.
All right, guys, first out, I'm going to start by saying a lot of people think, man, that's fill a pod, throw some paint in a pod, and you're on your way, right? It gets a little bit more complicated than that. It seems like a truly simple task, but it could really end up in dismay out there if you don't fill the pod correctly, a bunch of broken paint in there, and that's something you truly don't want. First off, I'm going to start out right away by going right into the bag. You got your brand new 500 rounds paintball here. Some people tear it in the center. Some people tear it nice and even up top. Whatever way you want to go about it, I'm here to show you my way that's worked for a long time. So basically, I start out and I put a hole at the top right bag, just put my thumb in, use my other finger just to pry a hole right up near the top, either right or left-hand side of the bag. Next thing I'm going to do, take your pod, instead of pouring them in your hand and then putting them then into the pod, how about we just put the pod right into the bag and go from there. So I put the pod to the bag, hold your fingers around both sides of the pod with the actual bag itself, and then flip the paint upside down. Squeeze the bag, pull the pod off, and there you go. You could fill a pod in less than 2 seconds. So this gets to the tricky part, basically. So you got the paint in the pod. Well, how much paint? Too little, too much? We don't know. So take a couple out here, set them off to the side. A lot of people, okay, it's nice and full. I'm going to close the lid, put it in my pack, and I'm going to be on my way. All right, guys, this is a sound you don't want to be hearing out there on the field. Up and down, up and down. You got 4, 5, 6, 7 pods on you. Every pod's making the same noise. Something you don't want. 3 reasons. A, the noise. If you're playing in the woods, I wonder where that guy is. His pods are jiggling everywhere. 2, if you don't pack it tight enough, all of this paint is going to end up bouncing around while you're running and looking like this. Broken inside of there. You can't put that through your hopper or your gun. Disaster. Straight disaster. And lastly, if you have a cheap pod and you don't pack enough paint in there, the lid can simply just pop open on you and you lose all your paint. So 3 reasons: the noise, the brittleness of the paint inside, and then if you have a cheap pod that doesn't really close well, sometimes it will pop right open on you. So I'm going to dump these back in the bag and I'm going to show you the proper way to actually fill the pod all the way up. All right, guys, so we got the pod back into the bag. You're going to close it and you're going to look at it. It's about even with the rim right now. So what I'm going to do, grab a couple extra out of the bag, kind of just place them right on top, put your hand over it, and shake it yourself until you get a nice even pack on the top. Even add a couple more if you need to. Shake it again, close the lid, and you shouldn't hardly hear any sound whatsoever. When you shake the pod, it's not rattling all over the place. In this note too, it's a pretty well packed pod. Also, what you don't want to do is keep adding and keep shaking and keep adding and keep shaking until you overpack the thing so tight where you can't barely get the lid closed, it won't snap, and then you're going to break some paint. So it's nice. Everyone thinks it's simple, but a couple paintballs on top, hand over, shake it. If you see any extra room, add a couple more, shake it again, and then close the lid. Get a nice tight fit on the pod where you don't hear any rattling. And once again, don't overstuff it where you can barely get the lid closed. All right, guys, now that I went over the basics of actually filling the pod, not too much and then not too little, at the end of the day when you're done playing, you didn't quite shoot all of your paint, here's a quick tip for you guys. Take the paint out and put it into another container, something like an actual pod filling container itself, just so you can decompress this pod so it doesn't get dimples on there. So the next time you shoot it, you're not having curly left and right, the paint swerving everywhere. So just a quick tip, if you don't shoot all your paint at the end of the day, take it out of the pod, pour it into another container to decompress it so it doesn't get dimples. Thanks for watching, guys. Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.